Welcome, everybody, to another episode of False Nine here on the Kendall Sports Network with my boy Mark. How are you today?
What's up, man? I'm doing good. A little dragging. There's no Inter Miami. There's no soccer right now, so a little draggy.
Well, it's okay. You need this kind of rest for the weekend, June, July. That
No,
is
yeah, no,
that
yeah,
soccer. You are going to have soccer injected directly into your veins
I know.
in this next
You
month
don't
and a
have to
half.
tell me.
So we'll jump right into it. We got a lot to talk about today. Um, Inter Miami played the darlings of last season. Expansion team last season came in, nobody knew what to expect, and they ran away with the West.
Yep,
Of course, we're talking about St. Louis. Um, what is their name again?
St. Louis City FC,
St. Louis.
CFFC.
Yeah. Okay. For some reason, I had it confused with something else. But so St. Louis City FC. Um, what'd you make of the game?
I was there. I mean, I haven't been to a game in
Oh,
a while, but that atmosphere was nuts. I mean, great atmosphere. Credit to St. Louis fans for traveling. They traveled just about as well, if not better than any visiting fans that I've seen on games. But it was a pretty exciting game, a 6 goal thriller at the end. But looking for Inter Miami to capitalize on what was a weaker St. Louis side this year. Only winning 3 games, haven't won in their last 5. Stuff like that. But the game started. It was open to start. A lot of free flowing play, transition left and right. St. Louis, was able to catch us a couple times on the counter, specifically over the top, which it tends to be a problem with us with such a high line. Our center backs not having the pace, but Cherlo and Toto really put out some fires back there to start the game.
so I know that Gressel, when we've been clamoring for it, Gressel finally got a day off.
Yeah, I was surprised, honestly. But after that midfield performance against Atlanta, I think it had to be changed. And this time we went with Redondo and Matias Rojas in the midfield, and then Taylor, Messi, and Suarez up top. But I still think that our midfield needs a little bit more athleticism, a little bit more looser, fresher, not younger legs. I want to say looser legs. That's where Diego Gomez really helps, but we don't have him right now because of injury. Um, but yeah, that our midfield, we need Tata now has a 2-week break to figure out what he wants to do in that midfield, given with Busquets, and now he has Kremowski, who's starting to play better. Redondo, but we'll get to Redondo in a little bit.
Yes, we
And
will.
then Gressel, Matias Rojas, getting called up for Paraguay, so we don't know if he's gonna come back or not. So it'll be interesting because we definitely need some legs next to Busquets in order to cover those spaces he vacates when he makes runs forward to try to link up with Messi, with Suarez, with Taylor, and try to start our attack.
So yeah, so there's and like I said, we'll get to Redondo
Mhm.
in a later on in the show. But do you think that you mentioned that they were St. Louis catching Inter Miami over the top?
Mhm.
You think that's a direct result of the Freire injury and starting someone like Kristoff back there?
It wasn't really on Kristoff's side. It happened more on Cherlo's side and and Aviles' side. Kristoff seemed off a little bit, a little slower, a little step slower than usual. He ended up coming off at halftime due to dizziness and stuff. But that side, that Aviles and Cello side, I don't know. Cello gets caught up at times too high, and we see that with him. We saw it with Yedlin and stuff like that. But he has a good ability to track back and fight and win the ball back, and he did more often than not. Um, but Vasilev, up until he scored that goal later, he was on the right side. Alba and Kristoff did an okay job on him, I would say, but it was more on the left side attack for St. Louis, so their left winger, their left center mid, and going forward.
Okay, so a rare instance where they attacked what seems to be the strong side of our center back line.
Yeah, yeah, but like any good team will do. Like you said, this team was first in the West last year, so they're not just a cupcake. Um, when they see something that's working, they're going to try to exploit it, and they're going to try to use it to their advantage. And, I mean, credit to us for stopping it a couple times, and we're able to sustain them and hold them in the midfield a bit.
You said it was an open game,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then what we know that St. Louis opened the scoring. What
Yeah,
happened?
they got a set piece on a corner specifically. I think they had two corners before we got our first. Kind of a rebounded shot, deflection, cleared ball outside the box. Chris Durkin just tracked it down, turned around, and put his laces through it and said, "Calendar, pick it out of the back of the net," as Taylor Twellman says. He had no chance on it. It was absolute upper 90. Just a great shot. I really have no idea how he turned. He was able to turn that fast and just put it with precision past him and pace and power. It was a really, really, really good goal. And I think I said this last week that Calendar gets beat by a lot of good goals more often than not.
Right? Yeah,
And this was no different.
that there's a disproportionate amount of absolute perfection in terms of shots against him that he
Mhm.
really has no chance at saving.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then, unfortunately, bad news, or it seemed like bad news. Um, Redondo got his first start last week against Atlanta United, um, and then he played a full 90 last week.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of people were surprised that Tata would allow him to play a full 90
Yeah.
coming off of an injury.
Hmm.
Um, and then it seemed to be bad news.
We don't know how bad it is. I don't know the extent of the injury. I did see him. It was look maybe I want to say quad, maybe groin, one of those two. He kind of was motioning to that area. So he goes down before the half, and Bengha comes in.
Um, do you question Tata playing him 90 last
Before,
week coming off of an
yeah,
injury?
I think yeah, I think a lot of people will question it. Given how that game was going as well. There was a you needed some sort of difference in that midfield. So and having him go 90, like we said, coming off the injury and stuff like that, maybe wasn't the best idea. So we hope it's not something that's long term, but it's good that we have these 2 weeks and then just recover, rest, and recuperate.
Yeah, you mentioned Indiana Vasilev.
Hmm.
His return once again. I feel like every time we play somebody, there's
There's
somebody
a
Inter Miami
yeah.
had playing for them.
Hmm.
This time it's Indiana Vasilev's turn, um, and like many Heron alums, he came back and bit us in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, before he scores though, this is what I meant open. They scored and then right back at them, Messi scores.
Right.
Jordi Alba to Messi. The same play we've seen so many times that no team can stop. The cut back to Messi. Messi puts his foot through it. Roman Berkey can't get it. Gets fingertips on it, but can't get it. And right before that Indiana Vasilev goal, Roman Berkey robs Messi of a second goal. And it was in front of me and my I was sitting in the um, at midfield towards the Atlanta side. I mean towards the St. Louis bench, a little bit up in the stands. So that those two goals that we scored were towards my side, towards the attacking side. I was closest to, and watching Messi just move with the ball and find this pocket of space is just mesmerizing. Honestly, like watching it in person. We see it on TV. We're in awe of it, but just watching him live is just different.
Yeah. I mean, Alba and Messi and Busquets. Although Busquets seems to be more of an equal opportunity guy,
Hmm.
but Alba, the chemistry he has with Messi,
Yeah,
is
I mean,
incredible.
yeah, they run that. It's Taylor makes an inside run. Alba finds himself free on the left. He takes one look. He cuts it back to the top of the box, and Messi's waiting for the ball.
That
So
is,
at that, I mean,
you said Messi got the first one through, although Bert
hmm
got some of his fingertips on it, and then
yep,
the second one, the
pretty
second
much
chance,
the
he
second
made the
chance
save.
was he got down and he got it. I didn't expect him to get it because it was just quick uh, first post shot, and he got it. Messi acknowledged him as soon as he saved it.
And then so we missed the opportunity to get the second, and I apologize for jumping the gun.
You
And then
good?
Vasilev comes down, and
Yeah. This is I think where we realized that Kristav was a step slow, not all there. He kind of took Kristav in the box and then slots it to the near post again. Another thing that he keeps happening, another habit, another uh, shot goes by Calendar in his near post, and it's 2-1 to St. Louis at that time. So the game's really free flowing open at that point.
we've talked about this before. It's okay for Calendar to get beat off of, like you've said, a
hmm
disproportionate amount of crazy shots, but
There are
we
some
still,
near posts that he's got to stop.
exactly, and we've said it. It's a sin as a keeper to get beat near post. If you're gonna
hmm
get beat, it has to be far post, but don't get beat near post.
Yeah, but
Now,
it was against the run of play, so I mean, it's still near post. You should do a better job. I think defending it and covering it, but it is what it is. At that point, we're 2-1, and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a really open game.
yeah, and Miami has a habit. They've made a really bad habit of waiting to get punched in the mouth before wanting to play. In
hmm
this case, we got punched in the mouth. We equalized. Messi got robbed of that second one. We get punched in the face, in the mouth again, and then the Messi and friends come back to life.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw from Messi, I mean, Messi was up for it this game. I don't know what was in like. We see Messi, he tends to walk, he tends to fight on the defensive side. I'm not talking about offensively. He walks because he's picking out where his best areas are to attack, the spaces he wants to attack. But he was getting back on the ball. He was tracking back at times. He was pressing more often than not. So he was into it. And then, like you said, Messi links up with Alba. Alba puts a ball in across the frame of goal on the ground that goes back post untouched, and Luis Suarez arrives and slots it home. It was beautiful. I mean, I saw it develop in front of me. It was the simplest thing that you can do. It's two passes and a cross in, and there's a goal at the end.
And after that equalizer, we ended up going into half 2-2, yes?
Yep, 2-2 going into the half.
And then even more bad news.
Yeah, we learned Christoph. My buddy actually texted me. He's like, I was getting something to eat or drink. I can't remember. And he goes, hey, and he's at the game as well. He goes, Christoph is off. I'm like, what? Or he goes, Sailor's in. I'm like, for who? What happened? He goes, for Christoph. And I go on X, Twitter, whatever, and I see that, it was due to dizziness and vomiting. And, oh, okay. Well, Ryan Sailor, let's see what you got.
Right, because Ryan was it? No, Ian Frey is the person who we have been anxiously
Waiting
uh,
for,
waiting for his debut. Was Ryan Saylor also just came back into the scene? No,
I mean, he really hasn't played a lot since the arrival of Freire, but since Freire's injury now, and he's gonna play a little more. He needs to get used to it.
so Christoph comes out. What'd you see from that back line with the insertion of Saylor?
He's very hesitant on the ball.
I'm still here. Don't worry. I'm still
You're
here.
good.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
very hesitant on the ball. I saw Jordi Alba motioning to him to bring up the ball, take space, and he's very reluctant at times to do so. So I don't know if he's I mean he's probably not the most confident person with the ball at his feet like Toto might be or Toto might feel. So it's kind of like back and forth passing. Um, he got I don't want to say he great defensively. He was defensively. He kind of he did okay standing their center forward up, the right winger up a couple times. But it wasn't really a jaw dropping, eye popping something I'd be comfortable with performance with Sailor going forward.
Right. So, St. Louis um, dominates possession. Um,
I mean, yeah, yes and no. I mean, at the end of the
Start the
game,
second half.
you're gonna see like the numbers are always gonna be for us in this. I think it was like 60 something possession for us, 30 something for them. We had 10 shots on goal, 19 total. They had seven, and then they had like 20 maybe total, maybe less. So the game was like I said, open. 17 shots on goal in total between both teams.
Oh, hold on. And I apologize if this is late. I had been having some technical difficulties, but the man
Roman's
is
back
back. And he came back with a vengeance. I feel like he put one
for
of
every
them
show he
for
missed.
every week he missed.
Yeah,
So yeah, you were saying about the numbers always being cited in our favor.
yeah, yeah. I think it just goes with the style of play, the style that we play. Obviously, we're a very possession based team, but we had 10 shots on goal and 19 total. So it's not like we sat back and didn't do anything with the possession. We were trying to pepper this guy, but Roman Berkey, just stood up and said, I'm gonna stop it."
Well, with Inter Miami's Fort Lauderdale counterpart, with the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup Finals, I think we can say that Berkey was standing on his head,
Yeah,
making
like
save after
Bob.
save.
Oh, a little Bob homage there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we thought we had gotten a break. At the beginning of the show, we said, you know what? It finally happened. We finally got a break from the Grussel fatigue. And then what happens?
Uh, well, they go up 3-2 on a failed clearance by Ryan Saylor off one corner that they received. And then so there you have another corner coming in. And unfortunately, it goes off Luis Suarez's head into the back of the net. There's nothing you can really do about it.
Does he get
Um,
credit for a goal there? Does
he
it
got
add
credit.
to his?
No, it doesn't. It does not. Unfortunately, no. Um, he got credited with an own goal. So at first, I really didn't see who it came off of. And I was like, when they got that second corner, I was like, come on, just clear the ball, clear our lines. And they ended up scoring. So, um, really unfortunate. We were down 3-2 already there in the 68th minute, I want to say. So I was like already timing it. We got maybe 25 or so minutes to find the winner. We can do it because this team, this St. Louis team tends to get, we can pick apart their back line if we're smart. So, like you just said, we needed some legs. So Taylor comes off, Campana comes in, and um, Gressel comes on for Rojas, who was, Rojas didn't have the greatest games, but he was there. He was winning the ball, finding Messi, finding Suarez, looking for a shot at times. So it was good to see. Um, Gressel comes on, and we are at this point we were just going for it. Like Inter Miami, Messi, Suarez, we're trying to get it. We had a great opportunity with Benja, but again, Roman Berkey, man, just said nope, not today. Nope,
Standing on
not
his head
today.
once
I
again.
mean, yeah, literally stand. Yeah, he was goalkeeper of the year last year, I believe, and he made it seem like he was going to do it again this year with that performance. But we just couldn't find that third one, and then all of a sudden games dying down a little bit and stuff like that. We're going for it. We really can't get it. Missing opportunities. They're clearing the ball really well. We're having to start again from midfield with possession and stuff like that. We're still finding possession. We're still finding pockets of half spaces and stuff like that for Suarez, for Messi to find shots. And then Jordi, I saw Jordi Alba make this run. I didn't think he was onside, but my God, Russell played it perfectly, timed it perfectly with the run of Alba, and Alba's one-on-one with not a single person in sight from St. Louis, and he slots it past Berkey for the tying goal.
Now, Gressel, and like I said, we had Gressel fatigue.
Mhm.
Gressel was just not having. He just wasn't good, you know, in terms of the full picture.
Mhm.
Do you think that this is Gressel's most impactful role? The come in at the 68th minute, do what you do best.
I mean, I would if we have. It's just really hard to tell given the complexity of our midfield with who's going to play, who's not, and stuff like that. But it, this is probably where he fits best, coming in, 65th minute around there as relief, fresh legs, provides width from the midfield, can provide service on set piece and stuff like that. So he was more effective in this 30 minutes that he played, 25, 30 minutes that he played than, the game against Atlanta. So I think the rest was good for him. But I do think this is where he's more effective in our system.
We say this. Do you think Tata moving forward, or is he going to be stubborn?
It's all going to depend on the injury to or the extent of the injury to Redondo and if Diego Gomez ends up coming back to Inter Miami or not. And I say that because there's tidbits and stuff like that we'll get into later.
Okay. So we
But
ended up
yeah,
with the game ended in a 3-3 tie.
it did. And man, did we have a chance to win it? Jello had two golden opportunities, man. I thought we had it. I really did. Suarez played him in, couldn't get
Now,
it. Yep.
in our group chat, there was
Mhm.
in typical KSN personality Alex style. Um, Cello misses those two chances, and he's being traded for a bag of peanuts and a 12 pack of Heineken.
Yeah. I mean, recency, but uh, remember we had DeAndre Yedlin for a whole 2 years.
I do remember.
So Jello provides more offensively than Yedlin. Yedlin was just running up and down like a madman. Jello can actually play the ball in and has some technical ability with his feet. Um, and he's yes, he's maybe the same stature and stuff like that, but Jello fights, man. He doesn't give up on the defensive side either. So I think it was a little too harsh and stuff like that.
Right now, this game marked the last game that Inter Miami has before a big break. Um, there's a lot going on,
Hmm.
but we'll start with um, tomorrow. Tomorrow kicks off um, the tournament in Europe, um, and we'll
The
because of the
Euros,
break. Huh?
the Euros
Yes, yes. Euros kick off.
tomorrow.
Yes, at I believe. Give me 1 second.
Really?
Let me
I
get
thought it was.
our stats and info department. Oh, I'm sorry. It's next Friday. My apologies.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay, so I guess we'll hold off on that. But
Hmm.
We're in the Copa America break. Um,
Yeah.
we have
Copa America starts in 2 weeks,
yes,
14 days.
we have some glorious news, glorious game to speak about. Last night, um, there was a tune-up game for Copa America,
Hmm.
The Uruguayan national team, uh, with Suarez. They're stationed in West Palm, I believe. They
Suarez did not play.
no, no, he did not.
He didn't
Uh,
get called up for it.
no, I don't think he's on the roster. I believe he was told he was going to be, but I'm not.
They didn't call him for the game.
Yeah, he wasn't a part of the team uh,
Hmm.
that flew to Denver to play.
Yeah.
Uh, but as a U.S. men's national team fan, tell me,
Hmm.
this wonderful game that you saw.
Mexico got absolutely boat raced. Played out of the stadium. I mean, Uruguay, I got to give credit to Marcelo Bielsa. What he is doing with that Uruguay team, I mean, I believe they're in our group for Copa America. Man, it should be a good game, but they have Fede Valverde didn't even play.
No,
Darwin Nunez had a hat trick, and Facundo Pellistri, Manchester United
Pelestri,
youngster,
right?
had a goal. But man, Mexico, woof, they are terrible, and I'm just so happy that they are so bad. They have their best player for me is Edson Alvarez, and he's all right, he's okay. Their team is just not good. Oribe, who else do they have? Is it Peralta? Who else?
Oribe, they had Altuna,
Tuna. Yeah,
they
they
have
all
Cesar
they
Montes.
they
Uh,
all yeah no, they all Santi Jimenez. They can go. They all suck. They're
so
not good.
I saw this on Twitter,
Hmm.
and it begs the question. And I
Hmm.
think based on how on what you just said, I think I have an idea as to where you're leaning.
Hmm.
Um, is Uruguay this good, or does Mexico suck that bad? Is the expectation for Uruguay to compete and get to at least a semifinal, or are we watching the makings of a Mexico team that's going 3-0?
I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest. Um, I mean, Mexico going three now would absolutely be
Excellent.
glorious. I will pop a bottle to that. I will watch
Oh,
the
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
hold you to that.
huh?
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Um,
If Mexico goes 3-0, we can
but it,
bottle
it
you.
wouldn't be it wouldn't be surprising to me because they've been bad for the last 3 or 4 years. But Uruguay has with Bielsa, who was the ex Leeds manager, who really got them playing really good football in the championship, was able to get them to the Premiership a
See, Jay
couple
has
years
it right
ago.
here, right here.
And Jay knows. Jay's gonna hold me. He's gonna hold me accountable to it. Um,
Oh, but I don't want him to hold you accountable. I want to drink from the bottle. What are we doing?
uh, but no, I to answer your question, I think Uruguay is a very solid team,
Okay,
and I wouldn't be surprised. Like you think of Brazil, Argentina as the favorites for Copa America.
100%.
Um, Uruguay can be considered like a tier 2 favorite, honestly.
Okay, so we're gonna get into it about it. We're gonna get into it a little bit now.
Hmm.
We have the next opportunity is on Saturday for both the U.S. men's national team and Mexico.
Hmm.
Mexico plays Brazil.
Hmm.
Given the team, and listen, Brazil is favored, but it's no juggernaut.
Hmm.
Um, what do you expect to see Mexico get boat raced again?
I do. I just don't think that Mexico can compete with the top tier teams in Copa America. Nonetheless, we haven't lost to them in the last, I don't know, 6 years,
Five,
5 6 years,
the last five, I think the last 5 games.
5 games, which we play
Five
maybe one or two a year.
Yeah, I think
Um,
we won. Um,
we just won 2-0 the last one.
right. Then we had the game against that Dest got ejected.
Yeah, we won that
Um,
one. We
we
haven't lost
have,
in 5 or 6 games or something like that, or maybe more.
I
I
think
can't
four.
remember the number.
I think we've won 5 out of the last 6 because I
Yeah.
think they beat us in Mexico
Uh, I don't
or did
remember.
we tie in Mexico?
Can't remember.
Whatever. The point is we've dominated them. Two
Yes.
straight Gold Cups, two straight league Nations League Cups.
CONCACAF Nations. Okay, yep.
Right. So we've and then here's the question I wanted to get to.
Hmm.
Where do you see, and I've heard many different various places where they have this team, where do you see Colombia? And the reason I ask is because the U.S. men's national team plays Colombia on
That
Saturday.
is such a tough team, but I mean, such a tough, not a tough team, I should say, but like they're just so inconsistent. I mean, their best player is Luis Diaz from Liverpool, who, you know, I love the guy. But this is a team that US should beat. If they're gonna make noise in the Copa America, you beat this team.
Okay. Um, then after that, the U.S. men's national team gets a real test, a real tune-up, a game that I will be in attendance for. Um, they play Brazil on Wednesday.
Hmm.
Uh, Tell us what you expect to see from the U.S. men's national team on Wednesday, and then we'll talk about what our expectations are with Copa America and what the roster construction looks like thus far.
Yeah. Um, I mean, make it competitive. Don't fold. Don't fall over, and just let them walk over you. Um, just like I, I go back to that game against England, where in the World Cup, the last World Cup, where we
Mm-hmm.
really, I felt we deserved a win. We outplayed
100%.
them. Um, but Brazil's strength is their pace on the outside, and then they have strong midfielders. Like I'm not talking about the finesse style midfield. They have like Douglas Luiz and those guys in the midfield, strong midfielders. But their number one guy is gonna be Vinicius Junior. Um, from Real Madrid, and he is a problem, man. And whoever's playing right back for us, Joe Scally, if it's that game, God be with you, buddy, because you're gonna need it.
Now, what do you expect, if anything, from Endrick during this tournament?
Maybe he got some. I don't know how many minutes he's gonna get. Um, but maybe some experience because he's gonna be at Madrid next season. Um, and just get some maybe get some playing time in a competition against guys and against teams that are good. It'll be a boost of confidence for him if he does well going into that next season, and he should be ready. And when his number is called over at Madrid, if he's going to be if he's going to get playing time, it's up for the debate right now because they just signed Mbappe, and with that front three they have, they still have Arda Güler and Brahim Diaz and things like that. So who knows what's going to happen in the minutes there and where they're going to go and stuff. But I think he'll get minutes in both Brazil and Madrid next season.
Okay. Was it what is your well? Okay, let's go into the roster first. Um, no calendar,
Uh,
which I think I'm thrilled to see. I don't know about you.
As an Inter Miami fan, yeah,
Right. Um,
but yeah, yeah,
I don't think he should make this roster. If I'm being honest.
no. I mean, the number one guy should be Matt Turner, and then behind him, is Ethan Horvath on it?
Yes, Ethan and Sean.
Okay, so yeah, I would Calendar's in that fourth, third goalkeeper for us. I would say. I think Ethan's got that second spot pretty tight for now. I mean, up for debate, but up for competition, I would say. But I think Calendar fits in well with that third, fourth, slot.
Now I'm going to mention a few. I guess surprises would be the
Mm,
the word.
okay.
Um, Cameron Carter Vickers. A lot of people
Mhm.
had been clamoring for him to be called into the team. Um, Berhalter hadn't pulled the trigger on that. Many said he was our best. He's part of our best center back pairing.
I've said that.
Right. What? Just tell us your impressions or what your thoughts are on him finally getting the call back.
On Carter Vickers coming back,
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I think it's time, and I say this with the most respect that I have for Tim Ream. I think it's time to transition out of him starting and into the bench role and give Carter Vickers and Chris Richards the keys to the back line.
Okay.
I think that's our future back line heading into 2026.
That was the other um, surprise in terms of. I mean, Mark McKenzie getting called up,
Hmm.
European-based player. We
Hmm.
all know that Jedi is. the number one left back. You have Christopher Lund who got called in. Your
Just
thoughts
hmm
on who did you say?
Scally.
Yes, no, yeah, but he's the clear replacement for Dest with his ACL injury.
Yeah,
The guy who I want to hear your thoughts on is Shaq Moore.
brother. What are we doing? Calling in. I mean, Brian McBride said he is our best one-on-one defender. I mean, excuse me, if he's our best one-on-one defender, but we are in Copa America. That guy one-on-one against Vinicius. If we ever play Brazil, that guy's gonna get that. He's might as well not even show up to the game. I mean, I don't know why Shaq Moore's on this roster.
I
Um,
and I agree with you.
I don't know. Um, I think it just should have been Joe Scally's and Joe Scally's alone. And if we were gonna somehow transition into something else, that's I would feel more comfortable putting Chris Richards at right back or Timothy Weah at right wing back than having Shaq Moore start.
Okay, so here's my question to you:
Mm-hmm.
Shaq Moore is off this roster. Who you bringing in?
Ooh, who am I bringing in? Wow.
Is it a young guy? There's a
Man,
big omission here, and I understand the omission given the Olympics. And I don't think the person I'm thinking of has any business being on this roster right now.
who are you thinking of?
The natural today, the natural progression would be to walk, but
To who?
Walker Zimmerman. But
Okay.
I don't think he has a place on this roster anymore. I think his best days are way behind.
Okay. Do you have the roster in front of you?
I do.
Is the Dewan Jones on it?
Nope. My question was going to be: do you bring in a guy like Jalen Neal? Do you bring in a
Jalen
guy?
Neal. I would bring in Dewan Jones, who's more of a right back. I would believe. I think.
Okay, well that's what I'm saying. Would you bring
I
in
mean,
a young guy? Is my question.
yeah. Yes. Even 100%.
Okay. The big surprise in the midfield is we have the usual suspects: Weston, Tyler, Eunice, um,
Johnny Gio.
Gio, and then we have Timmy Tillman. We have Johnny Cardoso, Luca De La Torre. Just is there anyone missing in your opinion that should be on this roster that's not?
Um, Taylor Booth, is he on there?
No, he's not.
That's one guy I would have liked. I don't know, but he's kind of a winger slash attacking mid type of thing. I mean, Taylor Booth has had a great season over there in the Eredivisie. Um, Another guy that I would maybe think about bringing into that team in the midfield, but I think he's going to go to the Olympics is Gianluca Busio or Tanner
He
Tessman.
is
They're
on the
both
Olympic team, I believe.
those two will probably be on the Olympic team. Busio and just like Jack McGlynn will be on the Olympic team. Probably Noel Buck too. Um,
And we'll get into the Olympic team in the next show because
but I
there's
think
controversy there too.
I don't really have a problem with uh, with that midfield.
I don't think Timmy has a spot on this roster. I don't think he should have.
No, he doesn't. He won't get it. He'll be cut.
And then in the forwards we have Aronson, Balogun, Pepe, Pulisic, Sargent, Weah, and Wright.
Wait, Malik
Who
Tillman. Malik Tillman's not on it.
Malik and Timmy both.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you say Malik.
They're both on there.
Yeah,
Who
I thought. Okay.
who do you think should be on here that isn't?
No, I think this was spot on. To be honest, I mean, I don't think there's anyone I would take out from the forwards. I mean, the only one you can maybe think about is Brandon Aronson, because he didn't have the greatest of seasons. And maybe Brandon Vasquez, but they're looking at him to go to the Olympics. So, but I think I think he got the forwards pretty spot on, and I like I know they've been talking about having Haji Wright play out wide, as he did for Coventry this year.
Do you think that, and I mean this in the most loving way and with
Mm-hmm.
all respect,
Mm-hmm.
do you think the time of the Pirate of the Caribbean is over with this team?
Yeah, yeah. Jesus Ferreira.
Yes.
Yeah. That guy's days with the A team, I think, are done.
Okay.
With this A team going to Copa America, yeah, he's done. He may fit into the. I don't know if they're going to try to get him into the Olympics, but I don't know. But I think he's done.
Okay. What are your expectations for the U.S. men's national team this year
Oh my god,
in Copa America?
that is such a tough question. But Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay. Outside of Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay,
Are they the next team?
they have to be the next team. So that's a semifinal appearance. I think you're better than Chile, better than Peru, you're better than Ecuador, better than Colombia, better than Uruguay. I mean Paraguay, better than Mexico, better than Jamaica. Canada just got beat 4-0 today by Netherlands. Canada really doesn't scare me. They got some good players, but I think we're better than them.
Okay. And then I was trying to find the Olympic roster.
It hasn't come out yet. It's just the camp roster.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was.
Let me see.
I was trying to find it. I haven't had luck. Is that they came out such a long time ago and they tweet a lot. But okay, so semifinals the expectation for this team?
For me, yeah.
No, I'm on board. We don't have Inter Miami for 2 weeks.
One more week.
We have two friendlies for the U.S. men's national team, and then we will have our show on Thursday where we will be recapping those friendlies. We will be recapping the boat race of. Oh no, that hasn't happened yet.
Not yet.
Mexico winning boat race by Brazil, Easy. But we'll definitely talk about what we see from the U.S. men's national team this year during this window. The women played 2 games this window.
They won both.
Boat race South Korea both times. New coach doing what USA should be doing. I don't really have anything else. Mark, where can they find you on X or Twitter?
Right there.
And then stay tuned for some big news from the KSN family. Thankfully we're at the point where we're starting to expand a little bit. There is, I know we've talked about it, but there is some merch. Fanatics gave us a little bit of a hiccup in terms of logistics for merch, but we will be giving away merch. I'm hoping by the time Copa America starts, I believe we will be having the first giveaway for the start of Copa America. So stay tuned for that. And remember, guys, I know it's been a little bit. We've had some logistical issues with our This Week in Miami, but the intent is for it to be every Friday. Don't forget about the Dolphin Chronicles on Mondays. And then
quickly, there's something in the works with me with a little surprise, so be on the lookout for that.
Yes,
you might catch me on something else.
Yes, stay tuned for news. Woj bombs, Schefter bombs. We have Mark bombs here on False 9. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a great one, guys.